Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Triforce podcast.
Calm down, Lewis.
We're back. Jeez.
This week, coming at
really
you.
carried away.
P-Flax, good morning, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Sips,
Yeah.
how are you?
You know, the usual. Same old. Can't complain. Oh, just hunkering down, getting ready for July. Oh, the third child. Oh, jeez. It's starting to hit me now that we're gonna have another newborn baby, and the memories of the previous two newborn babies are flooding back to me. And you know how like people plan their summers out? They're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Lockdown restrictions are gonna be eased. We're going into this new era of COVID with, post vaccinations and stuff, and they're going to open up the nightclubs in June and stuff. My plans are to hide in my garage as much as I possibly can.
Oh no, come on now.
Having to take care of baby.
You got to help out. That's the job. That's
I will,
the way it
but
goes.
It'll be a reluctant helping out, It'll
This
be
is
lots of
why
heavy sighing.
The third kid is always neglected and eating glue and just like an artistic one because they've not given any attention, so they have to make their own fun and have a big imagination. And
they also tend to be the most chill.
They do, yeah. That's what I hear.
Yeah, maybe that's because you're chill when you're bringing them up, though. Maybe the anxiety that you have, you're so serious about your first child that it's maybe that rubs off.
Like even the second one, but with the third now, suddenly you're such a veteran. It's like it's like in a war, Lewis.
Yeah,
you've done two tours.
This is your
tour.
third tour, and you were in the shit twice. Like you were really in the shit. The first one, an explosion goes off, you're hitting the deck, you look like a complete rookie. Second tour,
spraying at you.
Bomb goes off, you just wince a bit. Third tour, you're walking headfirst into an artillery barrage, and you just don't even give a shit. You know it's going to be fine. Artillery doesn't really hurt that much. That's what you're telling yourself. No
That's
problem.
exactly
I'd say you were
it, yeah.
driving the dad van into it, head first, with like holding like nappies in one hand and dummies in the other,
and 60 in your teeth.
That's another good one, actually. I got to run to the store to get some supplies. That's a good one to get out of having to listen to a screaming baby and stuff too.
Supplies.
Oh my god!
Nice
they
and
didn't
vague.
have any at the close place. I'm gonna have to go further afield to get these supplies. Jeez, I might be gone
Is that
for
the one by
hours.
the bar with the guys are?
Yeah.
The bowling alley.
Yeah. I looked everywhere and I found they were selling nappies at the pub, so that was really good. Came up trumps there. Sorry I was gone for 7 hours, but I did get them in the end. So
I know we are a gaming podcast technically, and we have all been playing Loop Hero this week. And everything you say and everything that happens is now for me a loop, right? Like a baby is the next, just the same repeat. Like every podcast that goes by, it's the same old guff.
Now
it's
you're
just
thinking with
slightly
loops,
different, So yeah, I know you guys have been enjoying it. It's interesting.
It's a really neat game. It's really good. It's well done. It's just really good. I'm pleased that a good game has come out.
Yeah,
one that
really
isn't just
too
like
much
every
skill.
other game. It just feels fresh. It's like a new idea, a new concept, and it's not weighed down with all the garbage that other games are weighed down with. I don't know if it's because I'm getting old or what, but man, I've been so salty with games recently and just so sort of cynical about them and stuff. Like I don't know. I think it was from playing Valheim, which I really liked, but there's just some really dumb shit in it, like really tedious inventory crap and stuff that didn't make sense. And I don't know, you just think like, fucking just do better, It's 2021. Game's been out for a long time. Like, there's no excuse for annoying people. You're trying to have fun playing your game,
It is crazy how simple it is, but how much there's little details. It's very satisfying. The last game I played that it makes me think of was Slay the Spire, in that it's just progress and card based and everything like that. It is very different. Haven't played from Slay the Spire, but,
basically the way it works is you've got a little pixel dude who runs around in a circle. He starts off as a little warrior with the sword, but eventually you can unlock other sort of classes. And as he goes round and round, you can actually change the kind of landscape of the loop and add like a swamp in there or a forest, and then different monsters will spawn. And it's an auto battler in a sense, and it's quite grindy. Actually, I found myself tabbing out quite a lot while he went around and did a few
Yeah,
Like,
you kind of
like-
can get to a point like that where you might be just doing a loop just to get resources to build a building you need or do an upgrade or something.
So it's definitely taken a lot of those things from recent years in terms of idle games, but also kind of auto battling. You know, the fact is that you can't control anything while the battle's going on, but eventually you do unlock traits and you can change up the equipment and stuff. It's quite familiar in a sense, like the style of it. If you've played mobile games before, you've played like indie games before, and then as you've got to make a couple of choices, like, am I going to try and do another loop, or am I going to take what I've got so far and go back to my base and upgrade things so I'm stronger next time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so like it's
and there are bosses, and the music is great.
Oh, the music
bosses,
is something else. Holy crap!
Well, because it's an also battler, you don't really have. You kind of have to just judge how confident you feel, and then once you've gone into this boss fight, there's nothing you can do. It's kind of weird to like. Yeah. You're like, well, we'll go for it, and you just send him off, and then you watch for like 2 minutes. As
you kind
slowly
of.
battles
Sometimes
this
they
boss.
just sneak up on you too, because the way that you summon a boss is the loop that your guy is going around. The cards that you're given randomly throughout your encounters with enemies on this loop give you cards which are tiles to sort of change the map around, so you can add like forests or rocks, and all of these things give you different bonuses and stuff. But the more of them you place, it progresses you towards summoning the boss. And so sometimes you're like, okay, yeah, finally I got these rocks that I needed to place here or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I've just accidentally summoned the boss. I didn't realize I was so close to summoning him.
Is there a meter that indicates when he's going to come?
Yes, there
is
in the top left.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people, here's a hot tip. Sometimes people don't even like put half the tiles down. They just don't put any mountains down or any meadows down or any. They just leave them to burn, because when all this stuff burns in your hand,
it
unused,
turns into books.
It turns into resources, but also you don't progress the meter forward. Obviously, that can make you weaker. But it's one of these games in the same sense as they are Billions, in that it feels to me like the game doesn't really teach you how to play, or isn't obvious necessarily. You have to kind of figure out a couple of things, a few things yourself.
It's kind of nice the way they do it, because the tutorial is very quick, and it's you're doing an actual loop while it's sort of giving you the basics, but it's not outlining all of the different combos and synergies. That's for you to figure out. So it's this nice, you get this nice progression, but you get this nice like discovery sort of weaved into it as well, where you're like, oh my God, this works really well. I've just figured out that if I put a vampires next to a swamp or something, that's a really good synergy, and it's very powerful, and I can just replicate that everywhere, sort of thing. So it's really nice when you come across something like that and it works. You're like, holy crap, I just figured this out. It's super satisfying.
Oh my God, I've just had an email. This fucking sucks. So I was going to go to a gig. Going to take my eldest daughter to see Everything, which is a band that we both really like. It was going to be her first gig, and it's in Camden, and it was going to be great. And they had to cancel it because of COVID. Just had an email, they've postponed it, and it said when the new date's going to be. And I go to look, and they said on the email that it was a Wednesday. Right. And I looked, and I was like, that's not a Wednesday. And I checked the year. It's not until next year. They've put it off till next year.
Well, I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah, but a full year? Come on! That's ridiculous.
I'm surprised that they even had it open and with a view of doing it this year. I mean, crazy.
We booked the tickets ages ago.
Sure.
It must be like 6 months ago that they announced it, and I guess this was pre-lockdown too, and it was like, yeah, we'll be coming out of it by then, right? And then
fucking hell,
and then
that's crazy.
Yeah. Like literally months and months ago, and I told my daughter, and it was going to be near her birthday and all the rest of it. It's going to be great, but then so they pushed it back, and I was like, well, fair enough. Obviously they had to. They literally pushed it back a full year. Oi. Oh,
no. Sorry.
All right.
So one thing that is happening this week, interestingly, I got a letter about is the Census.
We did that. Yeah, we did.
Nice.
It's kind of this like, well, obviously it's been going for thousands of years, I assume, like censuses, and they're in the Bible.
Well, Doomsday Book, isn't it? Was the
People have censuses,
Sensei.
and
Sensei.
yeah,
Yes, Sensei.
I used to.
Yes, Sensei.
I grew up in a village that was in the Doomsday Book. Apparently, Dodinghurst was in there. So it's a little
Straight out of Dodinghurst.
farming village. Still probably about the same population as it always bloody has.
Crazy motherfucker named Lewis.
So I assume I'm in some of the older censuses as well, right? Like someone must have put me in. I don't remember filling out forms for it before, but someone must have done on my behalf, or I must have done and I've forgotten. But you don't really have, it's quite forgettable. You don't have to put that much data in. It's like, what do you do, where you live, and who lives with you? And that's sort of it. It's kind of weird because, you think they could ask for a lot more information, couldn't they? They could ask for I don't know, what do you think about, how much recycling do you do? I don't know, how many times do you go to the toilet every day? Just they could ask loads of stuff, in the census. Get some.
I don't think they need to know that
taken...
kind of stuff, though. Isn't the point of a census just to sort of figure out who's where and with who, sort of thing?
Probably. That's
whole...
exactly what it is. But it always gets marked down in history. Whenever you see these ancestry shows, you always see them going through the censuses, and they're like, "Oh, we got a James Barker here living in Hull."
Yeah, but there's not another column that says, "It looks like James Barker has partaken in, it looks like 3 times recycling per week," and, it's not that sort of thing,
I don't
Lewis.
know,
Jesus.
I'd like a little bit more info, though. Maybe not that much. Maybe not that specific, but I don't know. I feel like you can't learn a lot about someone from just their, name, job,
yeah, but
and
this isn't
who
just
they're with.
research for some future series of where did I come from or whatever.
Yeah.
This is just a way to keep track of who the fuck they got
lived
and where.
Yeah, they just want to know who lived where at what time.
Just for the stats.
But it does come up as a thing, which is a kind of a snapshot of history, though, for people looking back, and you just see it on who do they think they are, and there's always people crying and saying, "Well, in 1854, my auntie was living with her husband, and then in 1859 she was living on her own, so he must have died. Oh, I'm so sad." Do you know what I mean? It's like, God, it's this. I just feel like maybe they should have put a little bit more data in there.
I guess the problem is people don't want to put
know.
all that shit on there.
With such a minuscule amount of data, somebody still managed to start crying. So maybe it's good that they didn't put more in there. You've just been fucking hysterical, You might find out that she must have died, and it looks like they recycle 5 times a week. Just increasingly getting upset.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it until now, but I just felt like because I had to put religion down, obviously, and what came to my mind was at the time. Do I do that meme where everyone, because there was the census meme from several years back where everyone wrote Jedi under their religion, and I was like, I'm not taking part in that, even it's just
I hate
silly.
the Jedi.
I put Sith down. Yeah, screw the Jedi.
Fucking Jedi.
But I don't know. I just wondered if you had any thoughts.
I think a lot of the information that you're talking about, that's it's not just one source, is it? You'll have the census that'll dictate, who's living where and with whom and all the rest of it. And then you've got your birth and death certificates, marriage certificates. You've got all the other bits and bobs you can find. There's so much information about us nowadays compared to even 100 years ago. You can find out so much just Googling people and finding all these things. You got fucking LinkedIn and Facebook and all. What if in 100 years' time, Facebook is still going and you go crank out, they'll do some show where they go and dig out someone's old Facebook posts these are from 2009. Oh my God. Oh, look what they're wearing. They're wearing clothes. Oh my God. It's unbelievable. So I don't know. Maybe that'll be the future.
On
and I don't know though. I want to say I agree generally, but I think for younger generations more so, because I would say that I don't know if you guys have this experience. We're all more or less from the same sort of generation, but people that I went to high school with and stuff have a very minimal internet footprint. They're not on Facebook posting snaps of all their vacations and stuff. They're not all over Twitter. They're not most social media. They have no presence whatsoever. And this is just from, occasionally like, stumbling across somebody that I used to know and finding out through them, who they're following, if they follow people that I used to know as well, just to get an idea of like what social circles. But I feel like most people, maybe I'm generalizing, most people that I went to school with, it feels like they graduated from, say, high school, went to further education, got a job, and that's it. Like, there's not really much. It's really hard to find where people have ended up and stuff because there's such a small footprint. And I feel like because we didn't grow up with social media, we didn't have it when we were in high school. It wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It didn't become popular for, like my generation, I guess, to spill the beans of their entire life on it either. You know what I mean?
I guess people from sort of, people in their early 20s now, if you pay the right amount of money, you can probably get a close-up of their fucking butthole. Like, that's how open they are about being on the internet. They're just fucking, everything's out there.
My wife was watching some show yesterday about revenge porn. It was like some...
She saw her own butthole.
No, but she saw it. There was this woman who was, I think she was on like some reality show. I can't remember which one it was, but apparently, so she got onto this show and her ex-boyfriend was jealous or I don't know, just mean-spirited about it or whatever, and had a whole bunch of images of her, like, not just nude, but like being kind of like sexually explicit with it as well. And so he just circulated them to everybody, to like her parents, like everybody, just sent these things out into the world for all to see, sort of thing. She was saying like, oh, my brother saw them and it's ruined my life and everything. And I don't want to laugh at this stuff because it's awful. It's horrible. It is awful. But I think it's just a wake up call that you just don't do that shit, or else it will like come back to get you. I mean,
but everyone's doing it though. Everyone is sexting everyone left, right, and center. But the thing is, when you meet someone for the first time and you fall in love with them, you have no idea what's going to happen a year or two down the line and how much you're going to hate each other after that period. You know. You think you're going to be together forever, and then inevitably, when you're young, these relationships, you have tons of these short, stupid relationships where you just weren't right for each other, or you realize that person isn't the one that you think of. But you're not leaving a massive footprint. Like, if I dated somebody in high school for a couple of weeks and then it didn't work out, well, fair enough. You know what I mean? The worst that would happen was maybe like, a rumor would go out after saying that I had bad breath or something like that, but there was no like pictures of me, shoving butt plugs into my ass and whatever else is going around like off the back of these sort of thing. Sure. Well, you're massive. You don't want your massive footprint out there on the internet. When I'm putting butt plugs in my ass, I'm doing that in private. I don't want anyone else to see. That's for my eyes only. And if there's other people around at the same time too. But I feel like for me, I look at this and I think, I see something like this and I think that's crazy. It's so easily avoidable, but I guess maybe it isn't. Again, coming back to this difference in generation, because again, we didn't grow up with that kind of stuff. I would never dream of taking a picture of my penis and sending it to somebody, but nowadays it's more widely done, I guess. So maybe people don't feel like that, but like, it's such a weird thing. Like I said, I just think, oh my God, she could have just easily avoided that by not doing it. But maybe there's pressure to do that kind of stuff nowadays that I'm unaware of or whatever. We talked about this before, I think, quite a bit, because we have like we're quite confused about it. We don't think it happens, but I can assure you, it's the stream of self like pelfies and sexy sex is penis selfie. Some pelfies. or a pussy selfie.
But wait a second, your penis isn't taking the picture, so is it technically a selfie?
Yeah, it is.
No, you're taking it of your penis. I'm saying I want to see a dick holding a phone. That's a pelvic.
When somebody sends you a picture of their dick, is it just that? Is it just a picture of their dick, or is there face in the shot as well?
No, it's a shot of their penis.
Hey, this is my dick.
No, it's just a picture of the dick.
It's just a shot of a penis.
Yeah.
It depends how arty the photographer is. I mean, mostly it's just the poorly lit downward angles, terrible. You've got to think. I think a lot of dick pics are just not well shot. I think. I'm sure the ladies will be able to verify this for me. But I think that a lady 99% of the time doesn't want to see an unsolicited dick.
No,
but there is
definitely
a time
talked about that. I don't think women like to actually look at peni, but maybe I'm wrong.
I am sure there is a time when sometimes a lady would like an artistically well lit, well shot of a
Right. So here's
a
my
dangus.
question regarding these dangai pics. And this is going out to the few women that listen to this podcast.
There's got to be at least one.
There must
left,
be two
maybe.
or three out there, maybe. If you are listening, I've got some questions. All right, number one, when you receive a solicited, so not unsolicited, but you are perhaps attempting to engage romantically with someone, maybe you've met them on the internet, or they're a friend of yours and you're trying to get closer, and you start exchanging rude pictures. When they send you a pic of their dick, are you thinking, yes, yep, excellent, that's acceptable? And are you thinking part of you is relieved that this is actually just, that'll do? You know, that's a moderate to decent penis, acceptable. And is that in fact a weight off your mind, so that when you do come to fuck, there's no sort of like, yikes, that's a tiddler. You know what I mean? That there is no letdown. Is it in fact kind of a nice thing to know that everything's in order? It doesn't look like a banana. You know, it's not got some crazy Tower of Pisa thing going on. It's not misshapen in any way. It's a perfectly acceptable penis. Or perhaps sometimes you get a picture like, wow, wow, wee wow. It's like it's a whopper. You're like, all right, now I'm really excited. Like, does it actually help? Is it a good thing? Or is it ever is there any occasion where you actually just want to see a picture of a penis? Because I can't think of one.
But these days,
there's gotta be more to it though, right? Like for me, I think it's not about getting a picture of a penis. It's the whole act of, doing something that's like, risque or forbidden or something like that. There's more to it, right?
It's like electronic foreplay,
if you wanted to just look at a picture of a dick, you could find one anywhere, like nowadays, right? Like you just do a search for penis and like a million would come up.
Absolutely, but I'm
and
talking about
tits and stuff.
But this is one that you could get your hands on, right? So this is like this is like if you're buying something on Amazon and there's no picture, you're not going to buy it.
Yeah,
that's
but
what it's come down to.
I mean, sure, if you get a picture, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting your hands on the goods, though, right?
If someone sends you a picture of their dick, I'm pretty sure they're DTF.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I think that's where you're wrong, Flex. I think this is a wrong assumption to make, because unless that person explicitly says, yes, you are welcome to lay your hands on my todger.
Of course, this isn't about consent. I'm not saying you send someone a dick
it's yours to get your mouth around.
Right, but it's almost like if I said to you, hey, let's have sex, and you said okay. Obviously, that's not saying that's not a fucking binding contract.
No.
But the implicit statement there is we're probably going to go and have sex. Like that. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. You're going to go and get down to it, and if someone says no, stop, then you stop.
Yeah.
But if I send someone a picture of my dick and there's something like, and suddenly they're sexually interested in me, I'm not going to be like, oh, I just sent you a picture of my penis. I can't believe you're interested. Well, yeah, of course. It's foreplay. It's chatting someone up.
I guess it's cat dicking if you sent someone a picture of someone else's dick, right? And instead of your own, and then you got to it, and they're like, "This isn't your dick."
Okay, so if you sent somebody a picture of your dog's penis instead of yours, like as a joke or whatever, is that against the rules? Like, would you get in trouble for that?
I would hope so.
I
if
think
there
so.
are any rules,
Yeah, you can't just send people explicit
Okay, so you can
stuff
send a
like
picture of yourself gaping, but you can't take a snap of your dog's dick and send it to someone.
it has to be requested. If they request a picture of your dog's
somewhere,
dick, then you could.
You know what I mean?
There is.
The whole thing is so
They
fucking
definitely-
ridiculous.
All right, so here's I've got another question. So at what point in the texting and the conversations is it clear that the exchange of pictures of body parts is going to start taking place? Because you don't want to just jump in. You don't want to just be like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, no problem. What you up to today? Not much. You? Yeah, just chilling. Bam! Picture of the penis. It's like, no. That's ridiculous.
Greasing up my hog. Bam!
That's not
a picture of it.
Like, there has to be some kind of like...
There has to be a build-up,
Yes,
for sure.
there has to be.
Lewis almost
I
sounds
think-
kind of
He's done it.
experienced with this.
You sent a dick pic, haven't you?
You have,
Well,
right? You
you know
must
how
have.
this.
You're younger
I've
than
talked
us.
about this before. It has the way it works is that it's a sort of when like my mum and dad won't obviously send me anything sexual, but they'll send me a picture of them hanging out on a park bench or whatever.
Sorry, are you comparing a picture of your parents hanging out on a park bench to...
My parents will send me a picture, or someone will send me a picture, and I'll be compelled to send a picture back, right? Saying, "Oh, this is me. Hi, I'm here building Lego or whatever." Do you know what I mean? I'm doing something equally wholesome. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Like something, they've sent me a wholesome picture of them in a garden. I send them a wholesome picture. If it's the same thing with sexting, if someone sends you a picture of their tits, then you're like, okay, what do I send them back a picture
Lewis,
of?
Is
right?
At what point is the transfer made from conversation to pictures of body parts? I mean, you're talking about if someone sends you a pic, it's polite to send one back or whatever. What I'm saying is, how do you make that escalation?
Well, listen,
because it's a big jump.
Well, a lot of it involves sexy chat as well. So like chat gets sexy, then they're like, oh, check out this tattoo.
All right, give me an
of mine.
example of sexy chat. I'm all ears.
Gosh,
Hi, I'm very horny. How about you? But with just the letter U and a question mark.
And an R.
Well,
that's an example there.
How are you?
I think everyone has sent some flirty texts, right? You must have. Oh, you two have been married for too long.
Man, I've been married for like 18 years. And when we got married, there was no social media whatsoever.
Yeah, there was nothing. I got married.
I haven't done any sexy texting or anything like that.
This is our 20th anniversary later this year.
I wouldn't even know what to do if somebody even initiated a sexy text. Like, I don't even talk to anybody. It's crazy.
Let's try it.
I don't want to.
Let's get you both writing sexy texts to your wives and say
She'd
something
fucking
nice.
laugh at me, dude. Like, there's no way.
No, well, exactly. That works
Mine
though
would just
in your
think
favor.
that I'm even more creepy than I already am.
Yeah.
Just tell me to.
It doesn't have to be creepy. You don't have to send her a picture of your butthole, like as if
A dog's
it's
butthole.
You don't have to send her any of that stuff. It can just be like.
I feel like with a lot of this stuff, though, I mean, maybe just me again. Maybe I'm just like old fashioned or whatever. But like, man, if somebody's gonna send me like, a picture of their tits or whatever, I mean, I could just go look at any tits I want on the internet. Like I can watch a full porn if I want to.
Right, but I don't think this is.
I can go see some airbrushed
material.
tits. Like I don't need to see your fucking, poorly snapped
But
tits.
these are tits you might get your hands on. That's my point.
But my point is, I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe I'll get my hands on those tits at some point. Great, maybe not. Again, I could just go watch porn instead. Like,
but this isn't for
no,
you.
It's not.
Like,
this is not about some titillation to get you literally to wank to their picture. I think it is just an escalation of the. Let's start talking about sex now. And it's sort of like, let's send a picture of tits and penises and holes.
It's like a process. You have to. There is a scale.
I'm very
right?
objective driven,
like,
guys. Like if somebody's gonna send me a picture of their tits, I'm gonna want to have like a bit of a masturbate or something. There's gotta be something in there.
I think that's part of it. Maybe
I think that's part of it as well.
Replied,
maybe if you're socially distanced.
Okay, but again, then I just go watch some porn and like I'll be done much quicker, and then I can get on with the rest of my day.
Imagine that
the tits of someone you know are far more attractive than the tits of someone you don't know. Yes.
I mean, maybe I know the wrong people.
think so.
I don't want to see most of the people I know's tits. I'll be honest.
Yeah, but we're all old.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, look, let's wind this back a little bit because it's got out of control here.
Maybe if I was good friends with Rihanna or something, okay, cool. Yeah.
Just try and imagine that you. Yes, just try to put yourself into the mind of someone who is not married for 18-year-old dad, 18 years, and has 3 children, and also only associates with grandmas and mums.
The rest of the world isn't exactly like me. Oh, shit!
Try and put yourself into the body of a hot young 21-year-old stud who watches hockey and I don't know. He's a quarterback, and he's there's all these girls. It's college, and he's studying social
He's studying
studies.
titties on the internet.
socially studying.
Oh,
So,
my God.
you know, you go out there and you meet people. You're single, you're ready to mingle,
Right.
you're chatting up various different girls on the text, and
Man.
one of them is into you, and so she won't stop texting you, telling you all the things that she's up to.
Okay, again, for me, that's alarm bells. If somebody can't stop texting me, what the fuck is your problem? Like, let's just go meet at the disco or something.
The disco.
Get a milkshake together and then
Lads, we're out of our depth here. We're out of our depth.
Share a crunchy.
We're using phrases like single and ready to mingle. We're talking about going to the disco. I don't think this is going to happen for us.
Just
Come on.
You can
I mean,
just imagine it's like a scenario. Like, you know, you watch a horror movie, a sci-fi movie. Imagine you're just watching a young 20-year-old going to the gym sexy movie where he's taking a picture of himself in the gym. Maybe you've just done a workout and you're proud.
Right.
Take a little picture.
He's got a really
send it to someone.
sweaty
Say, look at me.
penis.
This is a good shot of me.
Look at how much my
No,
penis is
you
sweating.
don't-
Here's a picture.
You'd be
just
terrible
in case you
at
can't
this.
use your imagination. Here's a series of pictures. I hope this doesn't come and bite me in the ass later on in my life. Like, I mean, come on.
It doesn't have to. It doesn't start there, though, right? It starts once people are much more intimate. I'm sure some people are just creepy and sending unsolicited stuff and shouldn't do, but I think most people who are doing it have gotten to a stage in their relationship where they're more worried about, you know, WhatsApp recording the fucking pictures or them being, you know, saved on their cloud, and so
Right.
you know, hackers will get them rather than the person they were intended for. I think a lot of people are, you know, trust the people they send them to.
I mean, you know what? You
not
know
to
what it
share
comes
them.
down to is even famous people with a public image to protect send nudes.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence and all those other women sent pictures of themselves to whatever fucking idiots they were having sex with, and then the Apple Cloud or whatever it was got hacked, and they were all out there.
Yeah.
So it can't just be a sales pitch. You know what I mean? It's not just like an attempt to titillate. This has to be a direction that seduction now has taken.
I guess,
Because Jennifer Lawrence doesn't need to send you a picture of her tits to say, will you have sex with me? It's fucking Jennifer Lawrence, dude. Like, you're going to have sex with Jennifer Lawrence if
Yeah.
the opportunity
And
arises.
also,
Yeah.
I don't think you could always assume that anyone you're sending the pictures to will instantly go to the next guy next to them in the pub and be like, "Oh, look at Jennifer Lawrence's
I mean,
tits."
to gentlemen, who among us wouldn't, is my question. If Jennifer Lawrence sent you a picture of her tits and your mate was right next to you, you wouldn't say, mate, have a look at fucking Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh
sent
no,
me a
but
picture of her
I meant
tits."
if you were going out with someone, you wouldn't instantly show that to the
No, of
next
course not.
person next to you
I
in the
would
pub.
be
I mean, that's the assumption,
100%
though, right? Like,
respectful. I would be like, no, a gentleman never tells. I'm going to keep these titty
Your
pics to
best
myself.
mate is sat next to you. You're in the pub. You've had a few drinks. Jennifer Lawrence sends you a picture of her tits, and you keep it to yourself. Unbelievable.
well, you know,
What kind of friend are you?
Chivalry is not dead, Flax. I'm happy to inform you. And furthermore, I would get in touch with her and I'd say, "Dear Miss Lawrence,
it is on life support.
I
though,
have
actually.
received some pictures from you that I'm not sure were meant for me, and I would like to ask for your hand in marriage first and foremost. But then, further to that, I would
Here's a
also
picture of my
like-
dick.
Here is a picture of my dog's dick.
Count all
Here
the
is a picture of
wrinkles
my
in my
cat's dick.
sack. Here is a picture of my ball sack as a retaliation.
Here's a picture of my sweaty dick. Jesus Christ. So, I don't know how we end up going down. It's
I
because
don't
it's a
know.
world that
I
you guys
don't-
are so
I'm
unfamiliar
unfamiliar
with.
with it, but honestly, I just think it's so absurd. Like,
I'm fascinated by it.
It
Genuinely.
makes no sense to me. I don't know why anybody would ever do that, or even entertain somebody else doing it for them. Like, it's just such a
I don't
weird.
like to see myself in that situation.
I
don't
don't
No.
like to take a picture of my face, let alone
Yeah.
my dick. You know, and I don't think I actually
Yeah, like
even
people
ever.
recording themselves like having sex and stuff. What the hell? Like, are you?
I think the only time
that's
I
not
would
a
take a
flattering
picture
shot of
of,
you,
like-
you're
Yeah.
like fucking panting and being weird. Like, I mean, it's not. You're not porn stars. These people are trained professionals. They know what they're doing.
No, but at the same time, people are, you know, people take a lot of selfies of themselves until they get one that looks really
Yeah,
good
but
and completely
a
unlike
lot of the
them.
people
and
who
then
take a
that's
lot of
their-
selfies, they look really good in those pictures. Like, For example, and let's talk about some other members of the Yogscast here. A lot of people in the Yogscast, when they're going live, tweet a picture of themselves to say, hey, I'm going live. I don't do that specifically because it would put off any potential viewers because no one wants to see this mug, right?
Big egg-shaped.
Yeah. So if you're
angry
young
face.
and attractive and you take a picture of yourself, beautiful. Like, why wouldn't you? That's like a big part of being young and attractive is that people want to look at you, and fair play. But I don't want to fucking see myself, and I definitely don't want to see myself having sex. You ever had to try to have sex in a room with a mirror? It's fucking impossible. You catch sight of yourself, you think, oh, Jesus, it's ugly. I don't want to see that guy. Turn that thing around, put a towel over it.
But that reminds me of these like old ladies you see who are like, oh, in the 50s, I was a right dish. Look at this. And she's like, a picture of her in a, full piece bikini or whatever that stretches down to her ankles or whatever. And you're like, oh, God, I don't want to. I miss it. Look, she looks nice there, but there's an old lady telling me about this. It's kind of like you're very conflicted instantly about the whole idea of imagining people. But also she's like, well, I'm proud of these pictures that I took when I had a good body to show off. I wanted to show it off, kind of thing. Man. And I think that's where you're getting to now, P-Flax. Maybe you're wishing that you filmed yourself.
No, I'm glad I didn't.
You filmed yourself when you were 20 because you could then like play it back and be like, oh yeah, look at that.
No.
Before I don't want to wrinkles.
No. If you ever look at footage of yourself when you were 20, you were a dingus, and if you're looking at it 20 years later, you're just looking back and thinking, holy crap, I was a fucking idiot. Like, I can't believe I didn't realize this at the time.
Like, I know I'm an idiot now, but I was an even bigger idiot back then.
Oh my God, I was an insufferable idiot when I was 20,
awful.
for
like,
sure.
I still am awful, but I was awful 5 years ago, let alone 20 years ago.
Yeah.
God, like I can't watch stuff from the start of the Triforce podcast.
With your personal trainer and stuff, that was a dark time. That was a really dark time, actually, when you think about it.
That was a good time.
No, I mean,
sweaty,
maybe for
sweaty
you,
pics.
but your personal trainer, his credibility was
questioned. Before we carry on, this week's sponsor is ExpressVPN. You can get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Triforce. You guys already know about ExpressVPN. I assume you guys both use it. I can't stress enough how it is important to protect your online activity from big tech companies who track and profit off of you. But also, there's another reason I like using ExpressVPN. Netflix. Over the lockdown, I feel like I almost completed Netflix and watched everything on there.
Right.
But then I switched over to the US and there was loads of content I hadn't seen. ExpressVPN lets you choose from over 90 different countries, so there should always be stuff to watch on these streaming services.
I'm just gonna go check and see what Netflix Azerbaijan has now. That's fantastic.
I was gonna say, I want to see Netflix Afghanistan. What they got going on?
I don't know what is on there, but I'm sure it's some good stuff. Yes, so protect your data and stop paying full price for streaming services while only getting access to a fraction of the content. You can visit expressvpn.com/Triforce right now and get 3 extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/Triforce. Thanks, guys, and on with this show.
Thank you.
Cheers. Just going to eat one of my vegan sweets here.
Oh, nice.
Oh. Where'd you get those from?
You.
Oh, nice.
So, P-Fax, I noticed you tweeted me as if that I had some vegan agenda going on.
Obviously.
So I sent some vegan sweets to some of the folks in the Yogs. You should be getting one.
Some of them, yeah.
You should be getting one, maybe.
Some of them is the. I guess there's I don't know.
I should have sent you a double load actually, because of the kids in your house. They'll probably be gone in 20 minutes.
Jesus.
I also have kids in my house. The same number of kids.
Yeah, and Lou's talking about sending me a double load. Jesus.
But I also know that
you know what's coming next. It's a chat like that.
Oh my God! Here it comes.
No.
Check out this caper. Just a fucking. I know. Just the biggest goatee from Lewis ever.
With a load of vegan sweets shoved up his ass.
Oh, fuck's sake.
You guys are disgusting.
No, I'm disgusting. I'm not the one who's fucking taking pictures of my sweaty penis and ball sack and sending them to random people. I'm disgusting. Come on.
Well, look, so Census, they should put that stuff on there. Do you know what I mean? Like, they should put, So I just
Sorry, what do they need to put on there? What are we talking about?
Have you ever sent a dick pic to someone?
That's
I want to know what percentage
a very
of Britons...
modern addition to the census.
I reckon you could divide society up very neatly into people who have sent pictures of their penises or tits to people and people who haven't, and the age gap would be would be like a brick wall between the two. It'd be like After this age, almost never. Prior to this age, almost definitely. But there'll also be people who are like thinking, listening to this, they might be 19 or 20 years old, thinking, I never have and I never would. You guys are out of your fucking mind. We're not all doing it. How
but
dare
I think
you
it's also
throw us all
correlated
under the
with.
bus?
I think it's correlated with marital status, though, right? And like dating.
Oh,
and
I don't
whether you
know.
are
I think that's
in a happy marriage
especially
or
during
not.
with COVID and stuff, not being able to get out. And so I bet you the amount of sort of like, I'm married, but I'm sending pictures of my dick to somebody else. Cases have risen like crazy, right? Like how else you can't
Mr.
really
FBI
you
man.
can't carry on like a full blown affair during lockdown, right? It'd be really hard to do that.
Actually, it must be awful to work for those authorities. You can see all of that stuff all the time, all the and they just constantly going through. Like, can you imagine if your job was to like be the FBI blackmail guy and you just had to like sift off all the dick pics and put them into folders and categorize them by name and like tag them into people's files and be like, yeah, this is that time this guy got a dick pic sent, and then I have to put that in the blackmail file for him. So
why
if,
are the
he ever
FBI keeping
becomes
hold of all this stuff?
prime minister. Well, because it's all good in it. You can use it if people to exploit
I
people.
don't know if
take
there's.
control of them.
I feel like the
think
tremendous
they do
amount of
that.
manpower would be needed to keep tabs on all this stuff. I don't know if they care that much about it.
You reckon it's just automated, like robots?
No,
are
I
just looking
think
at
it's
dick
not
pics?
something that they're actively collecting. This is stuff that just exists, and when they need to access it, they know that they can. Right? They have the tools. They
Right,
have
it's
the
all
people.
stored.
They can get on to the cloud or whatever. Even Apple are always like, the FBI is not getting anywhere near our data. They are. Okay, Apple. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but if the FBI need to access your dick pics, they're going to get them one way or
You
another.
reckon?
I'm just
Yeah,
I
for
agree.
sure.
Do you remember that guy, Anthony Weiner? I think he was a congressman or whatever it is. Like, I don't know if there's a difference between a congressman and a senator, but anyway, he was one of those guys. He sent dick pics to this lady. He was a married man.
Yeah.
He sent dick pics to this lady, chatted up a lot of women online. He's older than us.
Right.
And he got busted and he lost his job. And then he ran for mayor
Right.
of New York, and he was going fairly well. He did have an argument with a guy in a bagel shop, which didn't look good. But then, in the middle of all this, everything's going well, it's looking great. He keeps doing it. He sends more dick pics to this other woman, and of course, all that comes out, and now the whole thing falls apart. There's a documentary called Weiner, because his name is Anthony Weiner.
Right.
It was on Netflix a while ago. It's really, really good. Some people are just compelled to do these things, I guess. He can't help himself. He's got to send the dick pics.
I reckon even back in like Roman times, people were fucking having like a dick pic made of their
A mosaic.
It's an odd one though, because it's something that we're always outraged by when these people are acting this way.
Right.
But they have acted this way since the beginning of time, right? It's just become so standard now, but we're still outraged by it. And it's like, you almost feels like we could save ourselves a lot of time and hassle and just sort of accept that these people are just going to carry on like this, because they just are anyway.
I mean, they're just a subsection of society, I guess. I guess loads of people are doing this shit.
There's
right?
tons
Sending
of people who are doing it that aren't being caught, that are more careful or whatever. And the thing is, in a lot of cases, these guys they don't regret doing it. They regret being caught, but they're certainly not remorseful about, having low moral fiber or anything like that. They're just like, they're just fucking weird people.
My top tip for crime is don't let anyone else know.
Wait. Lewis has a top tip for crime.
My top tip for crime is don't involve any other people. The less people involved, ideally just you.
Right.
Don't let anyone else know. Just keep it really just to
Keep it
yourself.
secret and
Because
keep it
otherwise,
safe.
they're all the weak links, right? And when you send a dick pic to someone, instantly
Send it to yourself
that's
and
too
yourself
many
only.
people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just keep it for yourself. And even then, you need to be careful. Cover your tracks.
Send it to your lawyer first, and tell your lawyer, I'm thinking of sending this picture to somebody. and see what your lawyer says. Take advice from your lawyer on that and see what he comes back or she comes back.
Yeah, because that's what they're there for.
That's what they're there for. They're there to give you impartial advice.
What if they were like,
for your protection?
There's nothing wrong with sending a dick pic. I just wouldn't send this dick pic.
Yeah.
Depending on the response you're trying to elicit.
I didn't realize I was representing somebody with such a small itty bitty penis. This is
you don't want to shoot you don't want to shoot down. You want to shoot up with some soft lighting in the background, no pale fluorescent
Add some
white
emojis
stark
as
blinding
well.
light.
Give it a little smiley face.
Have you ever seen the squirting emoji? You might want to put a couple of those ones
Put a little poop on the end.
I would also, given your age and the withered nature of your penis, the sepia background might be appropriate here. See the color right there. Nostalgia, I believe, is the title.
Fuck's sake.
Add some jazz music underneath and you've got a real show going.
You might as well, though. I mean, it's so fucking weird. Like, the whole thing. Again, just weird. I just don't understand it at all.
And we never will.
I don't know how you do that and think to yourself after you're done, that was a great use of my time.
Another podcast where you two are fascinated by the idea of a dick pic.
It's very, you have to understand too,
just
and out there
bizarre.
listening and shaking their heads, this is not a thing that we grew up with.
No.
And I honestly had never thought
Imagine we're from a completely different planet where this sort of thing doesn't take place.
I mean, I absolutely can imagine, because I know people are awful, of guys sending it to women unsolicited, because men are disgusting, right? I get that.
Yeah.
But my point is this, I can understand how that becomes a part of the flirting and sort of pick-up procedure, and it's widespread. I know a lot of people who've done this, and, you know, don't swipe left or whatever, you know, as in when they show you a picture, you're not allowed to swipe either way. They're sending each other pictures of their bodies the whole time. It's obviously like people are disconnected by distance or whatever, and they want to send pictures of themselves to each other to get them horny, and then when they meet up, they have sex and everything. I understand it, but it's still weird to me because I can't imagine
there's
doing
100
it.
factors. Yeah.
But, like, I mean, the thing is, okay, fair enough. Somebody sends you a picture of say that this penis is just perfect, okay? It's glistening in the sun, and it's perfect length, and it's the perfect width and everything, and
Just
you're
a
like,
good-looking
God
dick,
damn,
right?
that is a perfect penis. And then when you meet up with this guy and his perfect penis, and you have sex with him, the downside to the whole thing is that he makes screaming cat noises when he comes. You know what I mean? Like, so who cares if his penis is perfect? That's traumatizing, right? That's weird and creepy, and nobody should ever experience that, but you have. Because you've been led up the garden path by this guy's perfect glistening penis in a picture. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But imagine, but what you've done is, though, you've at least eliminated one of the potential problems there, right? Like the more information you have going in, the better. Like if you're buying something on Amazon, you know, or eBay or something, you want to see lots of pictures of it to get a good idea of what you're dealing with. And the more info you're going in with, sure, you're going to be upset by the cat screaming thing, but at least his dick wasn't weird. And at least, like, you know, all these other things weren't weird. You know, at least he actually looked like he was. You didn't get cat dicked by him and all the other stuff, you know? So it's very nice to know.
So here's a question. Do you think there are, you know the way there are hand models, and do you reckon there are dick models out there? Like people whose penis is just like, agency somewhere is like, Mr. Johnson?
Not like a bare
penis.
But certainly, like, I mean, if you look at the front cover or the packaging of men's underpants, I mean, there are definitely bulge models out there. Like you have to, you got to get those on there.
Just wondering if there is a market out there just
bulge
for pictures of the perfect penis, whether that's a thing.
I don't think a bulge model would necessarily have a good penis. He'd have like a weird penis.
No, he would just have to have an acceptable
egg-shaped
covered
penis
mound that showed off how elasticated the underpants were and how accommodating they are to different sizes of genitalia.
I think you'd know the difference if they just had a fucking stuffed sock down there. I reckon.
Not only that, though, but they got to have good leg muscles and tone and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
because
so they got to be a dude in shape with a big package, but not so big that it's like that's all you notice. You don't even notice the underpants.
What about like those bikini cut men's underpants and stuff? You got to look good in those. I wouldn't look good in those, for example. I could never do that modeling. So like my hat goes off to these guys who can pull it off. It's crazy.
Well, I'm glad you're supporting.
Yeah, no, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Male
Big
talent.
shout out, yeah.
Well, there we go. Look, everyone, be safe out there. I love you very much. Look out for each other and yourselves.
Yeah.
And why not go and buy some vegetables?
Go buy some loose
and-
veg.
And just buy and eat some loose veg.
Jesus.
Support,
I bought a
support
yellow
local.
a courgette.
Buy it from a stall.
I bought a yellow courgette.
There you go.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
That's my life right now. All right, God, so boring. I hope you guys have more exciting things going on than we do. All right, take it
See you
easy,
next week.
everybody. See you
Lots
next
of
week.
love. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Good.